to Chatting with Olajumoke. It's always a pleasure having you join me. Remember, Chatting with Olajumoke is a place where we talk about all things better living. All right, so on this episode, I'm going to be talking about what I've titled When Things Don't Add Up for Us as God's Children. So about 9 years ago, going to 10 years now, I lost my dad, and it was a very trying time for us as a family. My child was a vibrant child of God. He was fervent, he was spiritual. In my house, we always prayed against untimely death. We always recited Psalm 91. I could recite I could recite Psalm 91 from the first verse to the last verse, because we recited it every day, every morning and every night during family devotions. And we understood the covenant of protection over us as children of God. And of course, we did not imagine that something like that could happen to us, but it happened. And when it happened, I kept wondering, I kept questioning. All I could say was, how did it happen? I couldn't understand why something like that could happen to a child of God. But yeah, things happen to us as children of God. Because you're a child of God does not mean that you're not going to go through things. Even the Bible says we are going to face trials and tribulations. But it said, do not be afraid. You have overcome. Right. So on this episode, I'm going to be sharing with us how we can understand the fact that God is actually always there. Even when it seems like He's not there, when it seems like everything is not adding up for us as God's children, God is actually there. So I'm going to be sharing some tips, and I hope that this is going to help someone. All right, so the first thing I want to say is that God is always present, even when we seem like He's not there, even when it seems like He's deaf and He's not hearing our prayers, but He's actually always there. But the thing is that our emotions always cloud what we feel at that time. Because of what we are going through, we cannot sense the presence of God around us, because our emotions has overwhelmed us at that time. We are so worried, we are so troubled. We feel like God is not there. I'm a child of God. Things are not supposed to be happening like this for me. And so it feels like God is not there at that time. But hey, child of God, God is there every single step of the way. He is there. He holds your hands. But the emotions at that time does not allow you to see that He's there. And so I want to assure you that whatsoever you're going through, God is there. He said, when you're in the fire, I am with you. When you go through the waters, I am with you. Whatever you're doing, I am with you. The second thing I want to share is that God's timing is always perfect. It comes at the right time. All right, so see the story of Lazarus. Jesus was a very close family member, close friend rather, to the family of Lazarus. And when message was sent to Jesus that Lazarus was sick, Jesus did not show up. Jesus was busy, healing people and working miracles somewhere else. And they shared until Lazarus died. They sent a message to him that Lazarus had died. And Jesus did not even show up at that time as well. 4 days after, that was when Jesus showed up. And 4 days after, the miracle still happened. But of course, when Jesus showed up, his sister said, if you were there, this wouldn't have happened. But Jesus said, I came at this time because God's name would be glorified. And so a lot of times we feel that God's timing is wrong. I'm waiting. I've been waiting for this thing for this long and it's not happening. It's not working for me. These things are not working. What is going on? People that don't even know God, things are happening for them. But hey, I've come to cheer you up, and I've come to tell you that God's timing is always perfect. His timing is not our timing. His ways are not our ways. He knows when best. He comes when it is the best time to come. He comes that His name can be glorified. I also want to share with us that delay is not denial. So because the thing that you're expecting has not come, does not mean that God has forgotten you. God has not forgotten you. He remembers you. He knows your name. He knows every single thought. He knows every strand of your hair. And so don't feel like God has forgotten you. God has not forgotten you. He's our ever-present help in the time of need. All right, so I also want to share with us that for some reasons, there are some things that we cannot understand. So things happen and you're wondering, how did this happen? And we are trying to get an answer immediately. Sometimes you cannot get the answer. We will understand it better by and by. I, for one, when I get to heaven, I have a lot of questions I'm going to ask God. And so there are some things that we cannot understand. If God has to explain himself to us every single time, then it's not God. If we have to know everything that happens, then it's not sovereign anymore. The Bible says we know in parts. And so there are some things that we know and we understand better by and by. And so as child of God, as children of God, we are supposed to understand the fact that there are some things that we do not understand. And so the earlier we get that okay, I cannot understand this, I would understand it better by and by, the better for us. But a lot of times we want answers. We are asking God, no, God, I want to know this, I want to know this, I want to know this. Sometimes you will not understand why it happened, but it will happen and you understand by and by. Right, so the last thing I'm going to share is that your arms are too short to box God. Don't try it. A lot of times we want to fight God because he did not do something that you wanted, because you already have a plan. I want this and this at so age, I want this and this, and then it's not happening, and then you're bothered. Sometimes we keep malice with God. Yeah, sometimes you just say, I'm not even praying, I'm not going to church, it's not going to affect God in any way. It's even doing you more harm than good. And so don't try to fight God. Don't say you're not happy with God. God, just day your day, make I day my day. That is not going to help you in any way. And so, child of God, I've come to encourage you that God is always there. Even when things don't make sense, when things don't add up for you, God has not forgotten you. He makes all things beautiful in his time. I hope I've been able to help someone with this week's episode. Just trust in God. Just keep trusting. Just keep believing. Put your hope in him and it will come true at the right time. There are some things that you don't understand now, you also understand better by and by. Thanks for always being a part of Chat Room with Elijah Moke. Till I see you again next time, don't forget to keep keeping it real. Bye-bye.